a big come-from-behind win at the European Pro.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
What's up, guys? We are back for another installment of Heavy Muscle Radio. We are live here. Obviously, I'm not home. Up in Connecticut visiting my sister for the weekend. Chris Aceto is home, however, by the nick of when did you get home? Like an hour ago?
Yeah, it seems like you are, I don't know if I'm talking to you or artificial intelligence.
Oh.
Because what you're saying, your lips are moving at a different cadence than
that sucks.
I think it's
doing that.
Say Mary had a little lamb, which was what?
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb.
I think it's synced now.
All right, okay. All right. Anyway, it was a big weekend in the bodybuilding world. It was the last qualifier, the last Olympia qualifier, I should say, of the 2024 calendar year. So anything now that takes place after this week will be for next year, for the 2025 qualification. So this is the last qualifier of the year. Bruno Santos comes from behind at the Europa Pro in the UK, and he secures the last spot, beating Andrea Presti, who was the pre-show favorite because he was a second last week in Italy behind Hunter Labrada. And it was a nail biter. Actually, after the prejudging, Santos was in third place, which is pretty crazy to come back from third place. We've heard second place guys come back, but you never hear a third place guy come back at the night show and win.
It's amazing. I was camping, and I had spotty internet, very spotty internet. I looked on my phone after someone sent me some pictures after prejudging it. I thought for sure like Bruno would be third, and Lewis or Breed or Presti would win. And then right before we started the show, I found out the results. So he must have really sharpened up between, prejudging and finals, which goes to show you again, Dave, that these shows are like two shows in one. In other words, you know what I mean? They really are. You can't just show up at prejudging and win, which Bruno was not winning. Someone else was winning. Who was winning? Presti?
Yeah, Presti was winning, yeah.
So Presti leaves, and he probably thinks he's in first place, and he was in first place, and then it turns out that he's in third place after the finals when all is said and done. So,
it was a little weird. Here's the scorecards for you, so you can see. Let me see if I can just line it up a little better here. And all right, there we go. So, now I made it worse. There we go. All right. So the first guy is Bruno Santos. Let me see if I can shrink it a little bit. I don't think we can get it all in here. So Bruno Santos is the top guy. At prejudging, he got 12 points. And as we know, for maybe people who don't know, the lower your score, the better. So if you get all ones from judges, then you'd have 5 points. There's actually more judges than 5 judges, but they drop the highs and lows. So 5 scoring judges you have. As you can see, Bruno Santos at the finals got 5 points, so all the judges felt that he was in first place. But after prejudging, Andrea Presti had 9 points. He was in the lead, so that means he probably got I was trying to figure out, Chris, what judges gave everyone what points. But if you look at the finals, and we assume that these guys all got were either first, second, or third, these guys. Because if you look at the next places, Mona Soar, who was in the 4th position, got 4 points from every judge. That's times 5 judges. That's 20 points for finals and prejudging. Lorenzo Louis got 5 points from every judge times 5 judges. That's 25. So these guys, and this guy got, prejudging at least got straight. Patrick Moore got straight 6th place. So he got 6 times 5 is 30. At finals, probably one judge had him 7th or something like that. But so anyway, these guys all got either 5, 10, or 15 points. So there was 30 points to be won. Obviously, the lower number wins here. But if you look at prejudging, you add up these numbers, 10 plus 9 plus 12, you get 31 points. So there was, to me, the math doesn't work out. But I don't think if there was a 1 point difference, it wouldn't have changed the placing. So it really doesn't matter. But it seems like they always have trouble doing the math. And I don't know what the problem with that is. But I will say this, to come from 3rd place and win is a huge pat on your back, because it's very hard to do that. For 2 guys to come back worse and the guy who was 3rd to come back that much better, mathematically, it's hard to make up those points. Luckily, they were very close after prejudging. There was only, I think there was a 3-point, or you can see there's a 3-point discrepancy between Presti and Santos. We're going to show some pictures and some video. I didn't think there was enough of a change to really warrant them, but maybe they reevaluated the guys because they were that close and they just said, hey, you know what? Santos is better. What was your take on this?
I think Santos has more muscle than, let's say, Presti. And I think that Presti's more technically more conditioned. I think his legs are a little thin, but, I'm not there. So a really sharp, let's say at night, Bruno, may be able to take him out and win simply because there's more of them there. There's more muscle.
I will say this. All the guys in the top 5 were in tremendous condition. There's not one guy who's out of shape. And, I think it could have gone either way. You would think that I think Presti's got better shape and structure. I think his legs, maybe his legs from the front, I think are a little on the thin side maybe compared to Santos.
I would agree with that, and I think that Bruno is. He looked real thick last week. It was the last week or the week before. I just think that he was holding water there, and here he looks. He definitely looks tighter for sure than last week, and maybe he just tightened up for the night show enough where that mass.
Presti's very impressive from the front. On that hands together most muscular shot. Lee Priest makes a point here. He was beating him by 6 points a week earlier. So, did it really change that much?
Yeah.
Whether the judge is different, that's the question.
Well, Bruno was much softer, I thought, last week.
You think he was?
Definitely. He had, he was definitely sharper this week than last week.
I think Presti's better here too. Look at his lower back. Look at all that detail in the lower back.
I think he's sharper here too. I just think that his legs from the front are a little thin.
Yeah, that's the only thing I see as a weakness potentially. But it wasn't a weakness at the prejudging. He won, so it's hard. If they would have had the Santos winning both prejudging and night show, I wouldn't have complained. But it seems as though Presti came back as good, if not better, at the night than he did in the prejudging, and so I was surprised that they took it away from him. That's where the surprise I think came from, and I think that's what a lot of people are having problems with.
It's always gonna surprise someone when someone jumps two spots into the winner's circle. It wouldn't surprise you like if someone moved from 4th to 2nd or 5th to 3rd, but like 5th to 3rd for sure. That happens all the time.
Yeah. It's just a lot. It's mathematically hard to make those points up. So, good. Well, congratulations to Santos.
He had the straight ones at night. You know what I mean?
The Brazilians are doing tremendously well. I'll give you that.
In other words, it's not too hard mathematically when you have straight ones at night.
No, I'm saying no, but yeah, I guess you're right. It was if it wasn't so close to prejudging, then he wouldn't have been able to make up the points. And do you really think?
It's a whole song, Dave. It's like you can still have like a judge. You could ask a judge after prejudging, or anyone in the audience, what do you do with Bruno? And some people might have him first, some people may have him second, some people may have him third, and some of the judges who have him third might have thought maybe he should be first or second. And
Yeah, here's my problem, Chris. I'm going to tell you what my problem is, and maybe some of the fans can chime in too. It was very undecided at prejudging, right? Because we have scores all over the place. I mean, they averaged out to be very close to each other, but obviously some guys got. I figured it out mathematically. Some guys got first, some guys got thirds. I think Presti got some thirds for at the prejudging, and I think some of the guys got seconds and stuff. So no one was sure. And then at night, everyone was sure. Not only were they sure, but everyone was exactly the same sure. And that it was 5, straight 10, straight 15. So that's where I think it gets suspicious, because I can't believe every judge changed their mind exactly the same at the night show. It's just it's an impossibility, That's where I have the problem.
I don't think it's an impossibility. Just
why? I mean,
it's not an impossibility. It just doesn't happen often.
No, I think that's why people are actually questioning, the legitimacy of it. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm looking. I could flip a coin and pick either one of those guys.
Well, all the Brazilians say that Santos was screwed in the prejudging and he should have had straight first all the way through.
Well, I'm sure all the Italians said the same thing about Presti. And I'm not biased because I'm Italian here, but I'm just calling it like it is. Very rarely do you see a guy who placed close second at a show the week before come back, look better.
Yeah, I think that is more the surprise, because if you're going to handicap the show coming in, you would say, based on past performance, that Presti was a shoo-in. However, bodybuilding is like a stock. When you buy a stock, they say, hey, just so that all the performance in the past means nothing going forward.
Yeah.
So you could buy something that's been going up for 10 years and it could tank, like Intel, for the coming 3 years.
Right, exactly. I'm pulling up. Hold on, I'm going to pull up a picture here. 1 second. Oh my God, Chris, watch this. All right. Everyone thinks I look like the villain in the Stallone movie Cobra.
No, you look like Star Wars backdrop.
I'll show you the picture. Let me pull it up. I don't think I do. A little bit, maybe. Maybe with the glasses on.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a combo. The glasses and the skull face, because Dave always has a skull face. See, now he's trying to parody it, and you just look more like him. Someone just texted me that I look like Ellen, and I said, because I'm not on TRT. I don't. It's like not wanting to pull the gluten. I don't want to add the test because I can still work work days. No one.
You're right, Lee. Lee's like, I look like Max Headroom. You're right, I do. Oh my God, funny shit. All right, what else did I want to talk about? Let's get back to the show. Hold on. So let me see if I can pull up some more pictures here. Let's pull the prejudging pictures up. Oh, this guy's got it twisted, the whole thing.
Yeah, where'd you find the pictures? I haven't been able to find lots.
Well, there's some good video, but the people put it up the orientation wrong. Let me see if Sid puts this up. Sid, find me some stuff if you're listening. No, this is the same.
Regardless, that show, that entire event is really developing year over year into a big show.
Yeah, they did a good job. I mean, I love that the European shows are becoming much bigger, and it helps. Labrada took advantage of the fact that he was the only American really to go over there and compete against these guys, and it worked out to his advantage. So I mean, I've been saying it for how long now?
Oh, 10 years.
Yeah, why aren't these more Americans going over there? This was another missed opportunity, for some Americans. I think everyone's qualified. You're supposed to qualify.
About you is, besides you having the ability with that physique to win, where you could never get a pro card to win pro shows, probably, or at least place in the top 3 in pro shows. Dave, had you got your pro card, you definitely would have beaten Milos's record for most amount of shows competed in.
Thank God. I would be dead by now, though. Thank God I didn't. Oh, man.
And Milos, by the way, Milos is this guy.
Oh, Bruno?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't know. The peanut gallery is debating whether I'm a Jew or not. So
why don't you call Milos and get him on and see if he can discuss how Bruno, what he did between prejudging and finals to tighten up so much.
We were supposed to get Milos on. Sid, I see you're in the chat. What happened to the Milos get? Is he busy? Is he at an MMA event? Because I know he likes to go to these MMA fights. I think he probably was away for the weekend. He's mad at Xavier anyway. I wanted to get him on to give him equal time.
Xavier and him on for Iron Debate.
Yeah, Milos is traveling to Serbia. He was en route to the airport. Okay, all right. He's excused. He always comes on though. Please, don't use the word revealed with Milos. That's right. It's a very dangerous word to use. He doesn't like that. Doesn't like it at all. All right, let's pull up the list of Olympia qualified athletes here. He's going to do the Olympia preview shows. Okay, good.
He's going to do what?
Milos is going to do our preview. We're going to be doing some Iron Debate stuff and all the fun stuff we always do. All right, so here's the list. Derek Lunsford, Hadi Choopan.
Bruno moved to top 6. Milos is going to have him in the
Samson
top.
Dauda, Andrew Jack, Rafael Brandeo, Martin Fitzwater, Nick Walker, Hunter Labrada, Tony O'Burton, who dropped out, so he's not in it anymore. Akeem Williams, Brandon Curry, William Bonac, Beirut Tabani still has not got a visa. If anyone out there, but we'll get to that in a minute. Nathan Diasho, who's not going to be doing it. John Jewett, Mo Foda, De La Rosa, Theo Leguerre, and Bruno Santos is our last qualifier. If anyone can get Beirut Tabani over here, that's what I wanted to talk about with Milos. Please contact me or anyone else or Milos or something like that. Just don't say reveal to him because he gets a little ticked off at that. But no, we need to get Beirut Tabani in this show. He earned it several years now in a row, and I'd love to see him in the Olympia. It's a shame he's not going to be able to make it.
It's a shame.
Anything's possible. Hey, Trump did you see that they shot at Trump again?
Yeah, somebody came with an AK-45 to Mar-a-Lago.
Isn't it incredible that these Secret Service guys don't know how to do their job anymore? They should hire Kevin Costner. Remember in the Bodyguard?
Well, they did. They did shoot. They shot this one.
Yeah, they always shoot him dead, Chris, because they don't want any witnesses. So they said when they interview him, they don't want to find out who actually hired the guy. That's why they shoot him.
No, but I mean, now after all the criticism from the first time, they're gonna, they're definitely ready to, shoot to kill.
But he still fired off some shots, so they didn't shoot him fast enough. How come there was no one protecting the perimeter of the place? Don't these Secret Service guys know how to do their job? It's crazy. Can't believe. Oh, by the way, Chris, I think I found the next car you should buy.
Oh yeah, the flying car.
No, not the flying. You and I should not be driving flying cars. No, this car. It runs on. There's an Iranian scientist, Aladin Qasemi, who invented a car that runs on water. Look at this thing.
Oh, they shot him right after this. Mobile.
He probably yeah.
Mobile, Exxon, and the CIA shot him dead right after the video.
He shot it. It can travel up to 900 kilometers in 10 hours. Hours generated after water. To produce energy. This guy will go missing any day now. The gas companies are not going to let him put them out of business. I don't know if it's real or not, because sometimes these stories are all BS on here. But I've heard this before that they have cars that run on water. Actually, Elon Musk said it. He said he's developed a car also that can run on water, but they won't allow him to put it out because it would ruin the economy. They said. So,
God forbid people have all that extra money to save to pump back into the economy.
What do we have here? It looks like a flying car. This is the car that I want to get, Chris. So it's a flying car. Even though it's made in China, I'd still buy it.
You've seen the ones in Dubai, right?
My problem with the flying cars, Chris, is that what if it stops working? Like if your car stops working on the road, you pull over to the side. You know, when the flying car doesn't work, it crashes and you die, basically. So what's the safety system? There's no airbag in this thing, you know, that's going to save you.
There are 2 parachutes, Dave. One in the front, one in the back.
What if you're over water though? You're gonna land in the water.
Well, you
this car better travel in the water too.
It's the last piece of the Jetsons predictions, the cartoon, the Jetsons.
Exactly.
We have
You're right.
Robot, right? Lee Priest.
I bet you Lee would get one of these, right, Lee? You'd get one of these cars.
We get the robot. We get the iPhones that they use on the Jetsons, where you can see people on. They got the, the microwave oven.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So this is the last thing is the flying cars. Yeah, if there's going to be flying car traffic, that's not going to be fun, probably. And maybe it's good. Would be good to get the one of the first cars, you know, and but once there's too many of them, it won't be fun anymore. All right, that's my
will be the first one to buy one.
That's my news of the day. I would like it. I think it's going to be cool. I hope in our lifetime we could actually have flying cars, Chris. Like people really use it.
I went on eBay to get the kit to change your 30-year-old Mercedes into a flying car. It's not available yet.
The upgrade, Chris. How is Angie Jack looking? A lot of people have been asking me.
It looks great.
She's posting.
Looks great. Psycho hasn't sent you pictures. I know he likes to send you pictures.
No, he has been. It's been very quiet. That's why I'm asking you. Psycho Lewis has been very quiet lately.
That might mean something. I don't know.
I think that means he looks good. I would say.
Yeah. It's funny. Ramon Dino puts out pictures all the time, and last year Brazil wanted to kill my son for putting out a picture of him and Ramon a couple of days before the show.
That's right. That's right. Your son got in trouble.
People got mad when I gave away his weight on this show last year. I didn't know the weight was a secret.
Oh my God.
I said, I have the right to divulge or to reveal people's weights, and I can reveal their photos.
Chris, someone wanted me to ask, someone told me to remind you or to ask you if you remember Jay Cutler saying that in 2003 he was drinking a case of Diet Mountain Dew a day. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Real? That's
someone just reminded me the other day that he used to drink like Sprites getting ready for, I don't know what show, just like as a carb source, because I would have on like 1,000 carbs. I said, Sprite is fine. Yeah, it's fine. I think it was Jose or no, it was Guy had asked me that. And I said, because it was, your metabolism, Dave.
Yeah.
When it's very few people are like that, but when it's humming and you're growing, the worst thing you can do is diet.
I know. When I was dieting, I would drink so much, what do I do? Iced coffee. So I would get iced coffee and I'd like throw some, I don't even think they had Splendor at the time. I think it was only Equal. Throw Equal in there. And I would drink so many of those iced coffees, black, that I literally have to sit on the toilet bowl and just never get off it. I could just pee continuously. Everyone's done it with the diet soda. So I believe that Jay was drinking that much Mountain Dew. It's like caffeine. You could drink 1,000,000 milligrams of caffeine and go to sleep and take a nap. It didn't do anything. It didn't even work anymore.
Well, after a while, it's so funny you say that, Dave. But Bob Grusson would want to go to sleep and drink a giant coffee.
It like relaxed you, right? I know you could do that now because you drink a ton of coffee now.
Well, caffeine does nothing to me.
Because I always get a kick out of the Italians. They go out to eat and they bring the dessert menu and they get these like coffee, different coffee drinks, and I'm like, who the fuck is going to drink coffee at like 10 o'clock at night? You'll be up all night. And the history of like every party we ever went to when I was a kid growing up, or any restaurant, all I remember my father saying is, I'm going to be up all night now. I had this because my father didn't drink caffeinated coffee. He was a decaf guy too. So he always would get sucked into because they wouldn't have decaf. And he'd be like, he liked coffee like I do. He liked the taste of it. So he'd be like, all right, bring me a cup. And he'd drink a cup and he'd be like fucking wired out of his mind. And he'd be like, I'm going to be up all night now. Like I said, Dad, you say this every time we go out anywhere. I said, why do you drink the coffee? He goes, because they put it in front of me.
Yeah. They did it.
He didn't want to be. He liked it. You know, his brothers would be pouring. What did they put in that triple sec? What did they put in the coffee?
Yeah, triple sec. What is that?
I don't even know. Yeah,
they do that in anisette.
Anisette. Yeah, they're always pouring alcohol in everything they drank. You know, with my father. Lee was up all night from a tiramisu. Yeah, I bet. There's coffee in tiramisu, isn't there?
Yeah, coffee beans, right on top, or
something. Yeah. Anyway. Sambuca, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sambuca, yeah, all the
Sambuca, you're right. Oh my God.
Sambuca. Someone listening?
Yeah, someone said Sambuca. What is in Sambuca? I don't even know what that is. I just know
those were staples in our house. Sambuca, anisette.
That's another alcoholic drink you add to the coffee, right?
Yeah. What was the
Sambuca's clear, sweet, anise flavored spirit from Italy. You often set on fire. Oh, that's the stuff they put on fire. I got to buy some Sambuca and start drinking it at night.
What was the triple set? Triples?
I think there's triple sec. I don't know if I'm making it up or not.
Yeah, but Dave, my grandmother, the only way she would drink coffee is if it had triple set.
The Italians love to add alcohol to every. My grandfather used to add it to diet soda.
I can't believe you know that name, triple set, Dave. Oh, that's
funny. Triple sec is an orange flavored liqueur that originated in France. It usually contains 20 to 40% alcohol. Holy shit. Triple sec is rarely consumed neat, but it is used in preparing many mixed drinks such as margaritas, cosmopolitan, sidecars, Long Island iced teas, and Mai Tais.
My grandmother would say she would absolutely defend Italy and say that it wasn't developed in France, that the Italians invented.
What is this? So, let me see. This guy's got some. Trump assassin has been identified as a 58-year-old Ryan Routh. Routh is a registered Republican from Hawaii who has a history of mental illness. Imagine that. Routh flew in from Hawaii to West Palm Beach and purchased. Hold on, is this the rest of this thing? Hold on. Purchased the AK-47 full body armor that he was wearing during the assassination attempt. Like another fucking winner. Lee said, Chris got the new iPhone 16. I see the box behind him in the collection on his desk. Is that true? Is that the iPhone 16 box?
Lee, you know what, Dave? I saw a guy. I don't know what it was. I saw a guy camping today, and I don't know what he had. The iPhone 2.
Really? So you felt superior to him then?
I was going to take a picture of it for you, but he was kind of like quirky. He was sitting at the same table as me eating.
You had a very old iPhone for a very long time, so you can't say a word. Valentino still has a flip phone. You know that Valentino was showing us these shoes that he wore. He said when he cuts the grass, he wears these shoes, and I said, you actually went out and bought a pair of shoes? He goes, no, the neighbor died, and his family threw out all his stuff at the curb. So Greg went and picked up the pair of shoes because he wore the same size as the guy. I said, you're wearing a dead man's pair of shoes? He goes, yeah. He says, yeah, but I only cut the lawn in them. So one of my clients felt so bad for me. He wore the same size as Greg. He sent him a pair of his shoes to wear. So you're not so bad. Greg's worse. I think I think Greg took his gallbladder too. Lee, is that the case? I think the guy they volunteered to give Greg his gallbladder, possibly. Hold on. My client here, former client, Christina. My dad always told me Sambuca is an aphrodisiac. Don't drink it on a first date. There you go. See, we have women who watch the show, Chris. How is that? We're getting advice from the women. Thank you, Christina. Oh, man, that's funny. Chris uses Walmart cell phone service. No, Chris has good cell phone service. He just doesn't like to buy the new phones when they come out. That's all. He has real cell phone service. All right. Let's see what else. I want to get back. Let me get back to the Olympia here. So now that we have the qualified list, Chris, for the Olympia, we got to talk about this for a second, because I noticed that there's a lot of people. I see Derek Lunsford is actually in Texas to train with Hadi and Hadi Choopan.
Oh,
I don't know how long he's going to be there.
Then I better go out, fly out to.
You better go fly and train with Andrew there.
No, I got to go fly with and train with Matt Grego, who's his training partner.
Oh, well, you got Kamal out there who can always train with him.
He abandoned him, so I'll fly down to Florida.
I never understood why these guys do that stuff. Do you?
Looking for the magic.
I can't get these guys to do an interview for a half hour, but they'll fly halfway across the country to work out with someone.
They got to do the 7 sets.
I guess, wouldn't it make more sense if Hani flew to Derek?
No, well, I mean, Hani probably has more going on than Derek has going on.
Well, you know, Hadi Choopan is staying with Hani, so maybe Derek thinks like he's missing out on something, so he's got to go there.
Yeah,
I mean, because I guess it would be hard for Hani to bring Hadi with him all the way to Florida, you know. But Hadi looks, ready. He's got that face that's all sucked out already. He probably was ready 6 weeks ago, I'm sure. He looks like he's a perfectionist, which makes it better, because if you get in shape early, you can eat up into the show. And I think that's going to give Hadi a better look, ultimately. The funny thing is, when you look at Hadi in clothes, he doesn't look huge, like he does on stage. He's very deceptive looking.
Yeah.
And, Derek actually looks big in clothes. Lunsford.
Yeah, Derek's gigantic in clothes.
He's very wide, Hadi is very deceptive looking in clothing. You could definitely mistake him as just being some, local bodybuilder guy and then he takes his clothes off and he's obviously he's insane. So this is 4 weeks out. Hadi, very smart, in the United States now, training with Hadi with him at the gym there, and that's obviously going to benefit him, not having to worry about visas and coming at the last minute and all that stuff. So good to see him in. I wonder, you would think that Hadi Choopan might be able to help out. What's his name? Beirut. They're both from Iran, right?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's like saying maybe, someone from the U.S. could get a visa to go somewhere and another athlete.
You know what? We know that you can't get a visa from Iran. It's really hard. So obviously Hadi figured it out. Whether, I don't know who helped him. I know I made a couple phone calls, but I don't know if that helped or not. And you would think that he'd say, hey, Beirut, why don't you try to call these people or contact this person? This is how I got in. I mean, Hadi doesn't have to worry about it. Beirut is not going to beat him, so it's not like he's letting his competition in. Because I think that there must be a method or a way to get in from Iran, or he wouldn't have gotten it. So why not share some of the knowledge with them?
It's connections. Everything's connections. So maybe Hadi has a better connection, and you can only call in a favor once, something that big. You know what I mean? Or you can do it in Hadi, because he's won the Olympia probably repetitively, but you know what I mean? Yeah. You might be able to get favors with someone, let's say in bodybuilding, but just because, let's say you got a favor, you can't get the favor for like someone else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Well, I'm gonna make a phone call. I don't know if it's gonna help, but I have a connection. Look at Derek's legs at 7 weeks out here, Chris. He made a lot of improvements, I think.
Well, we saw him in
really big.
Great.
The last 2 years, he's made some insane improvements. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be hard to beat. After I saw Hadi at the Arnold, I really thought that Hadi was the guy to beat. But I think Derek's made so many improvements, and he's so young still. I don't even know if he's 30 yet, is he?
I don't know. I think he's like 28 or something.
I don't think he's 30. I think or he might be close, but I mean, that's a huge advantage, I think, because his body is still responding. He's got that shrink wrap skin still. He's got none of that looseness going on. He's making improvements. He's injury free. He's got good symmetry. His symmetry is balanced on each side because he hasn't got to that point in his career where, he's got nerve impingements and all that stuff. I mean, I think he's going to be I don't think he's going to be beaten. I really don't. Very rarely do we see a Mr. Olympia come in better than he was the year before and lose the title. Assuming he doesn't, nothing gets screwed up. Derek Lunsford's 31. Sid. All right, thank you, Sid, for that. Still very young in bodybuilding years. I just think that he's going to be tough to beat. I mean, you and I both are very big on Andrew Jack, and I mean the improvements he's made. But I think Derek is going to be very difficult. But we'll find out, obviously, at the Olympia. I do want to, speaking of the Olympia, I want to just put it out there that a lot of people have been contacting me about getting tickets because they know the VIP tickets are sold out.
Everything's
sold out, I think, pretty much. And what Dan Solomon told me they're going to be doing is, and he's announced this before already, they're going to be having watch parties in the hotel. So at some of the bars and restaurants in the hotel, they're going to have big screens with the Olympia streaming on there, and people will hang out, they'll drink, they'll eat, watch the show. It'll be fun. So if you can't get in,
we'll get Sid to do like a wrap up with the fans and at the bar. Who's your top?
We should. That's where we should go after the show.
Triple Sec and Zambusa's state.
And Chris, it's not a bad idea. You know how like sometimes you see when you watch these reports, you have one reporter who's actually in with the crowd, and they're like, "Let's go down to Jesse. He's over there with the crowd at the Max Sports Bar."
And the crowd goes,
"Hey, who do you guys got?" We got Hadi, we got Derek, we got Andrew. We have to have a roving reporter doing some video down over there. The official watch party will be at Zouk nightclub at the Resorts World Vegas. That's the hotel that will be happening. Lee, you'll probably be in your hotel room, watching a bachelor party or something like that, and ordering room service. Lee's the only person who goes to shows and he hangs out in his hotel room the whole time. And but yeah, so those of you who can't get tickets, don't worry. There's another possibility too. When you get to the show, there's usually a lot of people who are selling their tickets or scalping their tickets. Maybe they don't want to go to the show. They figure they want to go out to do something in Vegas. So there's always tickets to be gotten. I don't know what they're going to be charging for them, and there's always premium prices on stuff. And sometimes at the last minute, people will offer up their tickets because they can't make it. Someone gets sick. They don't go to the show. So there might be some tickets available. But if you can't, you could always go and watch the official watch party. And I'm sure it will be super fun. We'll be getting Dan Solomon, the promoter of the Olympia, on the show at some point over the next week or two. I just talked to him. We're going to be talking on Monday. And we're going to go over all of the festivities. Because remember, this is the 60th anniversary of the Mr. Olympia competition. And they have a lot of exciting stuff planned. And, you think, Chris, is there ever a possibility that the Olympia could be held in that sphere, the new sphere they got?
What's it hold? How many does it hold?
Oh, it probably holds too many people, that place. But
I don't. I think if Dan wanted to, if he can sell 4,700 tickets in no time,
right,
then he can sell 10,000 tickets over a longer period of time. I mean, he would know better than me, of course, but I don't know why.
The sphere can seat 17,500 people and has a standing room capacity of 20,000. We don't want anyone standing, though. According to the Venetian, the sphere is 17,500 seats. 10,000 of them are described as haptic seats, or seats that are capable of moving and vibrating.
You can you can shrink at the auditorium, something like that down, like they do for concerts, and still set 10,000. I mean, they could viably sell 10,000 tickets, I would think.
Yeah, I think so too.
They could sell 17,000. Who knows?
Yeah, the UFC was at the Sphere last night. It looked great. I saw some of the video from there, but I think that they should try to get it there. If you want to keep it in Vegas, you want to make this the biggest event of all time. Imagine the bodybuilders up like on the outside of the sphere when you drive into Vegas and you see like Mr. Olympia like hitting a double bicep pose when you pass the sphere. I mean, that would be freaking phenomenal.
Yes, it's already crossed Dan's mind.
You think so?
Yes.
It's probably crazy expensive, but you know what? It might be if you sell enough tickets. What's the difference? I mean, obviously, they underestimated how many people wanted to go to the Olympia this year because
the demand is there. The demand is there. The demand is there.
I think it's a good call if they can make it happen.
I mean, there's nothing more better if you're the promoter too, just like to be able to wake up in the morning way more than 4 weeks out and say, well, you know what, we did sell out.
Yeah.
You know, opposed to like being 4 weeks out and say, gosh, we still got to sell some tickets. So
right.
they're on the right track.
I'm gonna Google how much does the Sphere
Dave wants to rent it.
Vegas cost to rent. Let's see.
Let me take a guess.
The Sphere cost $2.3 billion to build. I don't think they're gonna tell you. I guess you gotta contact the Sphere. They don't want to put that out there. Google doesn't have that information
because they charge different people different amounts. I'm sure.
Yeah, right. It's what you're willing to pay. That's really what it amounts to, right?
And well, they'll say this, oh, that's a high season. There's a high season. There's a mid season. There's a low season.
Right. For bodybuilding, we're gonna have to get the lowest season of all time. The lowest cost. Amazing they built that thing with the cost of that. But you know what? It probably put Vegas back on the map again.
Oh yeah, you know who Vegas, like the mayor of Vegas, when he wakes up in the morning thinks about.
There's Jake Wood right there, showing off the Sphere, right? maybe he's doing a little foreshadowing right there. That's Jake in October at the Sphere. So you never know. You never know. The handicapping. Let's if you're a betting man, Chris, which I know you're not, and you saw the way Hadi looked at the Arnold, obviously, which was the best we'd ever seen him. You know what Derek looked like at the Olympia last year. We've seen it seems like he's made some great improvements. Putting Andrew Jack aside and putting anyone else aside, if it was those two guys alone in the Olympia, who would you put your money, your chips on, and why?
I'd put 1/2 of a chip on Derek.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
He if he improved, I put the 1/2 a chip on him. Mm-hmm. Because there's let's talk about Hadi first. He's diced and sliced, and he's super dense. He's leaner. All those he's denser than Derek. He's more diced and sliced. He's leaner. But I was thinking when you and I'm not, when you talked about Derek's age, and when I saw Derek in Pittsburgh, he looks rounder. I'm hedging, Dave. I was going to say he's got a rounder look to him, but now I'm thinking he's still vulnerable to Hadi in like the most muscular through the pecs, the arms, the shoulders. And it's a coin toss. It'd be hard to pick between those two because Hadi's improved in terms of the way he looked at the Arnold. And I think from what I've seen, Derek's improved with genuine muscle. You got to see him like last year, right next to each other. It's really hard to handicap. And I think that who are handicapping the show, and say Hadi all the way, or if they say Derek all the way, I think they're rooting for they're talking their book, as you say, in stocks. When you're trying to sell someone, it's you already, you have a million shares that you need to unleash.
Right. Well, what you're basically saying is they're that close that it's going to be a very,
really
very
high
close call.
Those two, they're the same height. They both have strengths. I think it boils down on those two. Did Derek put on enough size to look bigger than Hadi? And, does he have more detail where he lacks it in the most muscular? And has he improved his abs?
Right.
Because, the last two shots, as the abs and thighs, the most muscular. And, those are bread and butter shots for Hadi Choopan.
His best, possibly, yeah. Now look at
it's like leaving the last impression. If you go back to we started the show talking about Bruno Santos coming from behind to win. His first impression was not the best impression. He got third. Yeah. Judging, and the last impression the finals, gave him obviously an edge by all 5 judges. So the last impression of a comparison is abs and thighs, most muscular. So sometimes, when you're reviewing it as a fan or as a judge or as a fan who thinks he's a judge, maybe you go, sometimes you err on the side of caution, which is the last 2 poses. It's really hard. I mean, I would say who I think is better if I knew who was better. And that said, I still have Hadi winning last year. And it wasn't by much. And I can see people who say, no, Derek won. And if you look at the judges' scores, it was, I think, a point or 2 points. So obviously some of the judges agreed with, Hadi winning, and some of the judges agreed with Derek winning. It's a really tough show to judge.
Yeah, let's go to Samson Dauda. Let's throw him into the equation. Here's a recent picture 4 weeks out.
Well, Samson's best asset running into the show is the fact that Andrew's improved a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, people said last year like 2 smaller guys, which is stature, versus 2 big guys. But the fact of the matter is that Andrew was mostly a big guy last year. He wasn't, super big for that frame.
Right. Here's my question about Samson. I obviously we both love his physique. I mean, he's got so many bells and whistles and so many gifts, but I just think he doesn't get as hard as Hadi and Derek get. I don't think we'll ever see him get that hard. I don't even know if his body's capable of getting that hard. He has a different type of physique. He's got more of like, showy, roundish muscles. Given the fact that Derek's in the driver's seat right now, Hadi's a former Mr. Olympia, right, nipping at his heels at this point, Arnold Classic champ, and that's the look they're going for, that dry, grainy, separated look. Is that a disadvantage for Samson? Because Andrew's got that look. Samson doesn't. They're both tall guys. Does that kind of make Samson like the odd man out, or does it not matter, do you think?
It mattered last year, so it will matter this year.
Well, last year everyone was a little off too at prejudging, if you remember. So,
yeah, I think everyone looked better at night. I agree with that, but the night show was the night show, and it's still, it did. I mean, it's the same apples and apples versus oranges. If you want to say that Samson's got bells and whistles, and Samson's bigger, and Samson's got more stature, and he had that in prejudging and the finals, and he was tighter at the finals, and so was Hadi and as was Derek. So it's all a wash. If you say like, well, people were often prejudging or better at the night show. Everyone was better at the night show.
Right. But then you got a guy like Andrew who's huge, who's got that dry look, that can stand next to Hadi and Derek. He's got the height and size. Maybe he's not as complete as they are because he is taller. Seems like he keeps improving. You said he's going to become even bigger at this show. Is he the most dangerous guy that we don't really know how he's going to place at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at he was fifth last year, and his fifth place look, versus the Texas this year is almost night and day. I mean, it's a legitimate 22 pounds or 20 pounds more. So, if you can get fifth, weigh in 20 pounds less.
Yeah.
Where do you move to weigh in 20 pounds more? And he has to have, more confidence, meaning not he has to have, he does have more confidence. Anyone would if you're coming off a win where, was so convincing as that. I mean, it's a convincing win, but it's a whole different physique than he had last year.
Right. And if he brings a little bit more conditioning from where he is here, he can get that level of graininess that Hadi gets, that Derek gets, with the heights, that he's got. You have to assume that this guy is probably one of the most dangerous guys in the lineup at this point.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Look at we got. Yeah, I mean, and then we haven't even mentioned Nick Walker yet. So I mean, there's a lot of guys that are really dangerous in this lineup. Now, what I wanted to ask you about Nick Walker was, when I interviewed him at the New York Pro, he said that was his best. We know that wasn't his best, but we've seen him at his best. He's very dangerous when he's at his best, and he's dry and hard. Where do you see him falling into this lineup, given the fact that we know Hadi and Derek are, ridiculous with the conditioning? They're shorter than he is, obviously. He's kind of between Samson, Andrew, who are the tall guys. He's kind of a middle height guy, and then you got your short guys. Where does Nick Walker fit in?
I mean, I think he fits in good, just because people obviously have given up on him, which is odd. I don't know what people.
He used to do that to Branch Warren, though, too. You know that, and then he would come back and make everyone pay.
He's not on people's radar, which is obscene. Because he's been third at the show. Last year he had to pull out. He did New York, which was not his best, but he was, there's still a lot there to work with. I mean, he was big and hard. He just wasn't maybe his, super hardness. So, I mean, he's got a knockout front double. He's got, fantastic front double. He's got great side chest, very, very good side tricep. Comes in condition. His back is really good. I mean, you're talking about, where are the gaps? Front lat spread, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, how good is Derek's front lat spread?
Right.
In other words, it's, people say, well, Nick's front lat spread. Yeah, I agree. How about Derek's front lat spread?
Well, Andrew Jack's probably got the best lat spread in the whole lineup there.
Who's got front double?
Probably Andrew Jack has the best front double, too, just because he's so.
I mean, I only said that to juxtapose it, where I said that, the last impression can be considered the best impression, where Hadi has the best abs and thighs, most muscular. I wouldn't say it's far-fetched to say that Andrew has the best front double and front lat spread. So that's how difficult the show is to judge.
Right. Look, there's a lot of great guys. This might be one of the best Olympias that we've seen in a very, very long time, because it's the same guys, but the guys have gotten better over the last couple of years. So we're seeing better versions of all these guys.
Well,
we saw 3 years ago is the same guys, but they're not as good as they're much better now than they were then. And that's what's making the show exciting, I think.
You have a Mr. Olympia, former Mr. Olympia. You have Nick Walker, Arnold Classic winner. Who else has won the Arnold? Someone else in there.
Samson
has won the Arnold Classic. And
he won it last. No, what's his name? Won it this year.
2 years last.
Yeah, Hadi won it this year. He won it the year before.
There's two Olympia winners, two Arnold Classic winners. I mean, when have we had that?
No, we have a lot of champions in this lineup. I mean, and
Then you can go through the list. I mean, you can still go through like those names when you tick off the names that you did at the start of the show. Those are very good, complete bodybuilders all the way down the list. All of them are very, very good. Anywhere from very, very good to extremely potentially dangerous in the show, because we don't know how the people are going to show up.
I mean, you think it's accurate to say, and once again, predictions are nothing more than bullshit, but, you know, is it accurate to say that Hadi, Derek, Nick, Andrew, Samson are going to be probably your top 5? I mean, is that a pretty good bet? If you had to put a bet on that, I mean, it
feels like it's like a good bet. It feels like it's a good bet based on their, you know, even though they tell you, right, when you buy the stock, doesn't mean it. It does mean something in bodybuilding, actually.
Right.
You know, you've proven your mettle at previous shows consistently. So those seem like they would be the top, but I don't want to like discard other people who may or may not.
No, you got Hunter Labrada, you got Morton Fitzwater, who did very well this year. The Bonak's always dangerous. Brandon Curry, we haven't mentioned, who's a former Mr. Olympia. You know, he's very quietly sneaking under the radar.
We didn't mention him, and that's the 3rd Olympia winner in this show. Derek Hadi and Brandon. And not only did Brandon win, but the year Remy defended his title, I think he lost by a couple points.
Right.
So he's been there, and he's been second, you know, a couple times.
He's super dangerous still. Even, I mean, he's probably the oldest guy. We were trying to figure out who's going to do Masters Olympia in 25. Why Brandon Curry should do that show? This guy should be Masters Mr. Olympia for the next 5 years at least. Yeah, he's in his 40s. He's crazy not to do it.
Date the Playboy Bunny. You never want to date her when she's 80.
No, but he's still. What I'm saying is he's still a very viable candidate. You know, you might as well. I mean, Robbie Robinson collected a few of them. Vince Taylor collected a few Masters Olympias. Brandon might as well collect a few at this point. I mean, he's the only guy over 40 who's probably, you know, can win that title multiple times. I mean,
the fact that he's been quiet, Dave, says something.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it doesn't say that I don't look good. It's the opposite.
Right. There's his Sandow right there that he won. It's a good picture too. Whoever took it. So yeah, the Olympia is going to be great. We have a lot of pre-Olympia coverage coming up over the next couple of weeks. Are we down to 5 weeks or 4 weeks now, Chris?
4. We're down to 4.
I have my flight booked. Have you booked your flight yet?
Of course I booked it.
Okay. Got the hotel. We got everything ready to go. So we're going to be the next 4 weeks. We're going to be doing a lot of coverage here. We're going to be doing Iron Debate. We're bringing that back. I'm sure you'll see King Kamali, Milos, and all the regulars back on the show. Hopefully we get Dennis James, Chris Cormier. And King Kamali will be home doing the live stream as he did the last 2 years while we're in Vegas. So those of you guys at home who want to watch along and hear King Kamali's, and there'll probably be a few more guys with him doing the live play-by-play. So we're going to have some great coverage for this Olympia, as we always do. And it's the exciting part of the season for Chris and I, because, you know, we actually get to hang out with each other in Vegas, and we get to do a lot of analysis. And that's true. Sid has, I don't want to take credit for this, you know, because this is a mastermind of Sid's. He's put together an Olympia predictions contest, and it's going to be going live this week with big prize packages.
I want you to call that the Chris Aceto Olympia prediction, because Sid, and I was going to bring it up on this show actually, but you know why I didn't? Because Dave poo-poos it every year. Because Sid, what I said is we should have a and have people pick 1st through 10th, because I think the person who can pick 1st through 10th is a true expert. And then Dave can repetitively have him on this show, you know, through the season. So when it comes to like a contests like
Chris, these guys are too good. We have to do 1st through 15th because
the first
we'll
one
have
through
too many
15.
winners.
The guy who gets it, or the lady who gets it right,
Yeah.
whoever gets it right, Dave can bring on to school us, and like he can put up the video from the Europa today where Bruno moved up 2 spots, and that person can say, Dave, I'll tell you why they moved up 2 spots.
The winner can go out to Lee is offering to take the winner out to McDonald's.
As the Swami.
There it is. We're doing 1st through 15th, plus predicting winners from every other division. Whoever gets it, we'll have a very nice prize package. Plus, we'll have some other prize packages for the top placers in there. If you could do top 15, you're a genius, because you know what? That's a hard call, because you could handicap it, given how you think people will place, but people always come in out of shape. That's why I'm always amazed when people can get it right. And there was a lot of winners in the last time we did it. I got news for you. There were a lot of people who predicted properly.
Grandfather donate a bottle of triple sec to the winner.
By the way, Chris, you're not Ellen. You're Lee said you're Sally Jesse Raphael.
Nobody knows who Sally Jesse Raphael is anymore. Lee.
No. Last year that we had 4 subscribers now 1st through 10th, Chris. So that's why we're going to 1st through 15th now.
Yeah, but Dave, the point is you want to bring them on the show so that they can.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? Actually, one of them donated. Was that the contest we had Carlo give away the chicken from the chicken pound, Sid? Because one of the winners actually donated their chicken to Chris, and I don't think Chris ever got it. Did he?
I never got, because when I see Carlos says, "How's the chicken?" I said, "Never got any chicken."
He was supposed to send it to you. Yeah. One of our viewers, Derek, who always tries to get me to watch drive the Lucid car. He won, and he gave you his chicken to you, and no one ever sent you the chicken. So we got to get Carlo to send you the chicken. Your son would appreciate that chicken, I'm sure. So we're saying, did Milos assassinate him? I hope not. We love Xavier, so we do. We should get Xavier and Milos on for Iron Debate.
Somebody just texted me that they said that same Iranian scientist who said the car can run on water also said that his water works like Trent.
Oh, real? So maybe his water is not just water.
Nothing after all.
Yeah. I think we ought to get Milos and Xavier on one of the Iron Debates, Sid, because are you threatening me? All right, guys, let's wrap this up. We will announce the contest this coming week on the RX Muscle Instagram, and you guys will get all the rules and how to enter, and we'll have some good prizes. Maybe we'll get Carlo to put out some chicken again also for the contest, because I'm going to give away some species supplements, but maybe Carlo wants to give away some chicken as well, because I think people really like that and enjoyed it. I love his chicken. I eat it every night, actually. And Chris, as we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you next. Oh, there it is. You're threatening me?